Hello, welcome back. Hello?
Alright, welcome back to our UTES streams, everyone. This is our first University of Toronto VALORANT match for this season, and we're playing the NACE Star League. Our opponent today is Lehigh VALORANT. I believe our players are currently just loading into the game right now. So this will be an interesting game because it's our first varsity VALORANT game, or first collegiate VALORANT game for I think a year or two. So we get to see some of our players play today for the first time in a long time. And yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it turns out to be a very successful season for our varsity team. And I believe, yeah, they've loaded in to our first round, so our pistol round. Oh, and we have an early disconnect. Yeah, sorry guys, some tech difficulties. I know we started the stream a little bit late, but hopefully everything smooths out now. So we're gonna see if we're gonna continue on with the disconnect or what's going on there. I believe they're paused right now, but we can talk a little bit about the map. So we have a pretty standard first two maps, and then we have a little bit of an outlier with Breeze. You don't usually see Breeze a lot in collegiate games. That might just be because it hasn't been in the map rotation for a little bit, but yeah, so Ascent and Haven are pretty standard. Hopefully we get to see some U of T stomps. I know they've been practicing Ascent and Haven a lot. Not so sure about Breeze. But yeah, Ascent and Haven should be interesting. We've got some pretty standard team comps, hoping to see some action from the KJs out here, because that is one of the integral parts of any defense, especially on Ascent. Also looking to see some good recon from our Sovas on both sides. And now that I'm looking at it, we do have pretty similar team comps, except we're seeing a Reyna come out on the side of Lehigh, which is an interesting pick. I know at U of T VALORANT, we are banned from playing any Reyna, so we'll see what Lehigh does with that. We are getting to the, oh, never mind. Yeah, so we do still have a disconnect, so we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, I guess we can talk a little bit more about these team comps. Both teams have opted to go with double initiator, which is kind of meta right now. Is there a NACE stream? Don't believe so. But yeah, so double initiator. So we're looking to see some interesting attack strats. We've got our defender-sided KJ positioned on A. So we'll see. It looks like they've got a pretty even split right now, so they might be defaulting. And we are still waiting on Penguin to reconnect. Alright, so I believe he has reconnected and we're about to go into our first pistol round of the game. Again, like I said before, we've got an even split. Looks like a bit of a default. We've got no players mid except an Omen watching Cat. And it looks like they're going to try and make some presence in B main, setting up a KJ turret. But we've got most of the players on our A site, hiding in A main, peeking towards mid. So not so much contact yet. We'll see a smoke come in to stop the attackers to come in through mid. But Jackie is sneaking up Cat, and it looks like he's going to contact his KO and come out with a frag. And with that, he's going to push straight into their tree side, and he might be able to catch some players off guard here. So U of T is on site. Let's see if they catch this KJ in hell. They do not, but the players now know that there's someone there. It looks like she's going to reposition. And U of T is going to try and get a plant down.
One enemy remaining.
Stay down.
Great kill from Jackie on Cat. And Penguin's going to return a frag on Jackie as well. 1v2 situation. There's a KJ turret set up here that will spot him, and the KJ sneaks up behind him, gets a kill. Not the KJ, the Sova. And U of T takes pistol round.
And my arrows.
Great entry from our Jackie. And great way to take space there, pushing up into tree, creating some pressure. So it makes the opponents think about where they start their retake, or even if they don't think and they start their retake and get cut off by Jackie, then, I mean, it's harder for them to get onto site and take care of that KJ, who is her whole setup there. So we do see an A-sided push here, but they are going to get stopped by the KO knife, so it'll delay them a little bit. Got two players up mid at this point. Penguin's going to try and get some information B main, and Jackie again up cap. The nice little quick frag. Lehigh is on an eco, so it's a little bit more difficult for them to get some frags here. But we are going to see Sarah on site here, and she's getting taken down by Pop.
Spike planted.
Digit with just a classic in a 1v5, trying to get some eco frags here, potentially take some guns out of the hands of UT, hiding there, and gets a headshot on Jackie, but eventually gets killed with the Spectre.
Catch me.
So we are 2-0 on the side of U of T on Ascent. So far, they've just been playing really solid. I'm not seeing too many mistakes. They're playing together. They're getting picks. Well, pushing together is important. It's also important to have some lurks here and there, take space in different parts of the map, and they've been doing a really good job at that. Again, with another split, just some info from PR3. Jackie's going to be watching any potential push out of B main. And Digit again watching mid. Yelzy keeping an eye on Cat, and Jackie just staying quiet in B main. They seem to be congregating here for a B main push, so they're going to wait for the Soap Dart to come out, and Jackie will pull in an entry and get onto site. Good kill
Spike
from
down.
here, QSA. Two more players from U of T going on the B site through lane. Penguin will take Sin out through the smoke, and we've just got two more players. They're going through mid. Seems that they think there's someone on the right side, so hopefully when they peek this, they'll clear close left.
30 seconds left.
Looks like a turret will come out, but it doesn't quite catch him. Oh, there it does, but Digit will not get any frags out of that encounter. Pop and PR3 here are separated. PR3 will go down in main. Pop all alone in market and gets taken down by Sarah. So the first round on the board for Lehigh Valorant.
Right here.
I think for them it was just some great plays by QSA on B that stopped, a plant from getting down and allowed them to force U of T Valorant to relocate, to change sites, to rotate into a different position, and they got separated a little bit. That's what allowed Lehigh to pick them off one by one. KO Knife will spot a few in a main. But U of T does know that a KJ plays there, so they're going to be a little bit wary. Push back towards mid, where Jackie will spot Omen. They're just going to TP out, doesn't want to take any 1v1s there. And again, Jackie pushing up mid into Cat. A little bit of damage from KO there onto Cat, forcing Jackie to push further into tree, but there is no one there to contest him, so it looks like he's just going to wait, and a K comes out, and a whiff. And U of T has sight, but are they going to spot the KJ in hell? Who knows? She's still there, but hasn't been detected yet as a plant goes down, and there she goes. Two great picks from Jackie. Only Penguin and Digit alive, and they're to be walking straight into a flash. It doesn't take anyone down, unfortunately, but now
Last player standing.
creep up,
Enemy down.
and Penguin will take top down for being... There we go. Yelzy will take Penguin down, and now our score is 3-1. This mid has been working really well for UT. I think Jackie has been up onto Cat a few times, I think almost nearly every round, and they've been leaving it virtually undefended. They do have a KG, but I believe all of her util is focusing on A with her turret around tree area, but she's not going to have any util this round. They are on an eco, so we'll see how they play this defense with little to no weaponry. Lehigh getting a little more active in mid. They've realized that UFT is getting a lot of free mid pushing, and so they've decided to place 2 players there this round. 3 actually, with Digit. And it looks like the doubling up on mid didn't do much, as well as they switched their Reyna onto Cat because Jackie just
Player standing.
gets a kill. So flawless for UFC Valorant, and it's looking a little UFC-sided right now. They have been pretty successful in getting the picks and isolating 1v1s, and they've been heavy-handed on mid, which Lehigh did try to counteract this round, but it doesn't look like it worked because they rotated a few players off into different positions, which didn't allow them to trade on any kills that were happening in mid, especially bottom mid.
Mag deployed.
KO knife gonna spot pop.
You
look
should
at
run.
the orb for his ult, and you see a KJ ult coming out on B. It looks like the enemy Sova is going to break it through the wall with an Odin. Qsei takes a pick out on Jackie, removing him from the equation. We see now that they've doubled up on Cat. They realize that Jackie is getting a lot of space through Cat and decided to put 2 players. Qsei takes the peek there, the dry peek, and is punished for it. UFT is still split through sites. But we see most of the players on A, and they're going to find Digit with the Soda, and
1 enemy remaining.
We've got 1 more player alive. KO's going to... Oh, KO is aware that there is a UFT player in mid, but eventually does not win the 1v1. UVD Varsity 5-1 here on our first map, Ascent. So they've been a dominant force. There hasn't really been any amazing plays, no aces yet, no clutches. It's just been very steady and solid Valorant. The game sense has been really well. They've been trading, they've been taking space, and the Subdart's gonna get Digit here. They know he's close, and they know he doesn't have that much money, so they might be calling out shotguns here. LZ going to grab an orb there for his ult, and they are going to peel off and take a little bit of mid control. Once again, they're going up Cat here. They do have Qsei pushed into a corner, so we'll see if he can get cleared. It looks like they are going to clear him, and easy pick.
Revealing area.
Lehigh is on an eco round here, so hopefully UFT should be able to close this out easily. Lurking Jet in main gets Omen in main gets taken out, and Sova dry peeks coming.
1 enemy remaining.
Lehigh is left with 1 player. He is going to manage to secure a Vandal. Let's see if Toaster decides to save or not.
Flash.
Using both his flashes here, he is going to get a pick onto Pop, who is unaware and not watching where the flashes are coming from. It looks like he's going to get sprayed through the smoke by Sin. Quick, easy little eco round. U of T is just hard to beat when they both have rifles, but even harder to beat when Lehigh only has pistols. So far through this map, Lehigh's eco has been hanging on by a thread. I mean, they've been on a rifle round and then an eco almost consistently. Don't think they've had 2 rifle rounds in a row. So if they want to stay in this game, especially with a 6-1 score, they're going to have to try and win a few ecos or win a few rounds in a row for them to be able to have an actual buy.
On target.
And a push up into mid is successful through Penguin. He is going to get spotted by Soda. And actually it looks like he's just getting collapsed on from all sides.
A fine bet.
Yelzy getting aggressive on Cat. There are 2 players from Lehigh on Cat. The shotgun is going to do a little bit of damage, but
Last player standing.
it looks like U of T is going to manage to clear that out. And the sole player left on the side of Lehigh is Digit. They are going to know he's on site from the smoke. And he does not win the 1v1 from Yelzy. Again, really solid presence from U of T. It doesn't look like they're having any trouble. It did look a little finicky there where Lehigh was pushing onto them from all sides of mid, util everywhere, but they managed to stay composed. When they pushed up Cat, they had 2 players making sure they could trade, but they got both of their kills dry, so really successful round from U of T.
Standing ahead.
Yuto coming out on A. Tuesday is not going to get spotted, but he's going to pop his Reyna ult here so we can see how much damage he can. He's still on site, manages to blind all 3, unfortunately gets taken down by Jackie. Digit is going to lurk up onto mid. What he doesn't know is that Pop is hiding in Sub Rosa. And Toaster is going to be in market with 2 of his teammates in CT. They are watching mid. They might be aware of a player hiding in tiles.
Last
but it looks
player
like
standing.
this retake is not going too well for them. They didn't play together.
Neutralized.
Pop is going to get taken out in mid by Scout. Sorry, a Marshall. But it is Jackie with the finishing kill on the round, bringing you
A
to
bow and arrow is
8-1.
old-fashioned, but sometimes old ways are best.
Jackie so far with the leading kill count in this lobby, 17-3. So it really shows you how well he's been entering. He's been pushing up from mid, from site, anywhere, and has been really taking a lot of space. Especially once U of T has sight, he does like to push closer into spawn, and it really punishes them when they're trying to come and do a retake, because if they're unaware of him or they haven't gotten the memo so far in the past couple of rounds, it's an easy pick for Jackie to just pick 1 or 2 out. Again, UFC presence in mid. They've just been really aggressive with this mid presence so far, and honestly it looks like the counteract from Lehigh is that they've decided not to do anything. In mid, they've left it completely open. They have 1 player all the way in their spawn, but it is smoked off, so it looks like UFC is opting to take the Cat route.
Cover going out.
3 players on the A side. It looks like a 4th is coming in. Sova's going to pop his ult and try and catch a player or 2. Doesn't hit anyone,
Spike planted.
but Lehigh is forced to do a rotate now, especially into a KO ult. Can be so hard. There's UT players watching everywhere, and it doesn't look like they are going to revive Pop. So he will go down. 2 Lehigh players in heaven, 3 in the tree area. So many kills coming
1 enemy
through.
remaining.
And really, they've just completely denied this retake. They have players on every single side of the map, near Cat, near main, watching Heaven. It's just impossible, as well with the KOL. It's really impossible to get into sight. Once again, Lehigh on a half buy. Their eco has been in shambles for the past couple of rounds. They do have timeouts, so if I were them, I would take the time to regroup, have a quick chat with my coach. They do have a coach in this. Just do anything to, take a break and get your mental back, because especially being 9-1 is a little rough on mental. Toaster's gonna push up into Wine. He has a teammate with him looking to trade potentially, but UT isn't pushing into him. PR3 pushing up mid, gonna take a kill on QSay. He won't get spotted by KJ turret here, so he just has free reign to push anywhere so far. Sin, a perfect omen TP into backside on B, going to allow her to push up into C to here, potentially get a kill on the KJ, but Sarah is ready for that. We've got UT congregated and B main.
One suppressed.
KJ util coming out here, hoping to delay them a little bit, but it does not work.
Remaining.
PR3 lurking down into spawn is going to get punished. And 1v2 for Digit here.
Planted.
We'll see how he plays. There's a player watching him from stairs, as well as a player in main. He's going to smoke pop off, but the Sova dart, or the Sova drone, is going to see him in market, as well as the TP position. Shock darts coming through, but don't connect. And he might catch... Oh, okay. He did not catch Sova, and Pop is going to peek out and get the dink to end the round.
Last round before the switch.
We're moving out. Pack heavy.
10-1 for UT Varsity. So far it looks like nothing is going to stop them. I'm not sure how exactly likely a 1-10 comeback will be, but it looks like UT is on a really good run here. They haven't lost in 8 rounds and are probably looking to close out the half 11-1. Knives do come out for Jackie in mid. He's going to take a little bit of damage from Penguin. And a KJL coming out on B. So it does look like a fake, judging by the fact that the rest of the team isn't on B either. They are creeping up on A into KO. Toaster holding the judge. He's going to get
Spike
kill
down.
here on Yelzy, and he's going to have bomb, but he is pinched from every single side of the map. A flash coming through, allowing him to get a pick on Sin. Toaster still has bomb in this situation, taking 1v1 with Pop. Going to lose it, leaving Penguin in a 1v1 situation.
Remaining.
A little bit of BM there, I'm not sure what that was.
Deploying drone.
It looks like Penguin is not going to push up to watch bomb, but he might get PR3 here. He actually doesn't. Great game awareness from PR3, choosing to hide in the corner and read out the drone. PR3 looks like he might clear, but
Good thing I was with you. Yes.
Lehigh manages to
Revealing area.
finish out this half 10-2 and
Switching
on a win,
sides.
so it might boost their morale a little bit. So switching sides now, we'll see UFC move on to defense. They had a really good attacker-sided half, but the one difference between these two rosters is that Lehigh is choosing to play a Reyna, rather a Jet or a Raze of some sort. So we'll see how this Reyna plays into an attack side for them, especially because they just got dominated on defense. So especially being the only duelist on the side of Lehigh, we get to see exactly how these entries will work, how they play this Reyna. She looks like they're going to be extremely aggro, but PR3 is going to immediately get the dink onto QSay through a wall, taking the majority of his HP. 3 U of T players waiting on B site for this entry. One more coming in, and we'll see Jackie push through from mid. Sin getting a great frag on Digit, who just decided to peek out without his team. And we have one player from
enemy
Lehigh on
remaining.
site taken out by Pop, and it
Spike
looks
down,
like
B.
this round is basically U of T's.
There you are, you shit.
There you go, Sarah taken out in B main. Just really an unorganized push from the side of Lehigh. There was a couple, like 1 or 2 players that decided to push out without an entry, with no blind or anything like that, as well as a couple players caught on site. They gave a lot of time for U of T to pull some rotates, which allowed them to be able to play a 5v5 essentially on B. On defender side, it's so important to make sure that you're calling for your team for a rotate, or if you believe that there's a default going on. It's just that communication that's really important. PR3 peeking out through main. This KO knife is going to catch him and stop his KG abilities from working for a bit, but it looks like Lehigh is choosing not to push into this, playing this a little bit smarter, choosing to default. Split a little bit. They've got 2 players in mid. Digit watching B main, but it looks like Jackie's not willing to take that fight. Lehigh players from all sides of the map creeping in, taking up a little bit of space. They are pushed a little bit more towards A. 3 players going through A main, as well as Qsei coming in from Cat. They have decided to force this, well, as much as a force they can. They've got a few pistols as well as some scouts. Great dance from Qsei there on Cat, and he is going to get traded out by Pop. Penguin missing a few shots here, a few right clicks, but eventually Pop will get taken out by Sarah, giving
30
Lehigh
seconds left.
sight
Out of
for as
charges.
long as they might have it for.
1 enemy
Standing
remaining.
ahead.
Planted not
down
great deny
A.
by Sin, and Yelzy finishes off by jumping out of heaven and spraying him
kill.
down with an Ares.
Match point.
Match point for U of T. They are going to have a little bit of a lighter buy, but since Lehigh decided to force after they lost pistol, they are not going to have the full buy that they would have if they had saved. They were playing off of a couple bulldogs and 2 pistols here, light shields for most of their team members. U of T does have a pretty good 3rd round buy. Some bulldogs, a vandal. All in all, pretty solid. So Lehigh's congregated here in A main. It looks like they're trying to do their best to have an actual push. Qsei's already in sight. He's going to clear it out. No U of T players on site, so Lehigh will have it for free. We just have to see if they can get a plant down here. Jackie spraying through the smoke on Heaven, does not manage to get any contact there. Qsei will have a lot of his health removed from Sova's shock darts. And they still have a chance to recuperate here and get a few frags for the retake. 3v4 situation, so it could go any way. This Ares might be able to do a lot of damage here.
Revealing area.
Penguin reduced to very low HP in hell. But Yelzy will not get
1
the
enemy
finishing kill
remaining.
there.
Last player standing.
Pop in a 1v1, does manages to win it, and will win the first map of Ascent for UFC Valorant.
My ult's ready.
Defenders win.
No rest required. Ready for redeployment.
So we will see you. We're gonna take a little break and we'll be back when they start map 2 on Haven. everyone, welcome back to UT Valorant. We're here on our map select, but the players currently are in their agent select. We've got some pretty interesting team comps coming out here. Don't know if you guys can see it yet. But while we're waiting on that, we can talk a little bit about Haven. So, oh, there we go. All right, so it looks like Lehigh is still taking a little bit of time to choose. They will start on the attacker side. There is 3 hovers so far. We have a Phoenix, which most of us know can be pretty dominant on this map, a Sky, an Omen, and KJ, which are both standard, as well as a Sova. What I like to see on the side of UT is a Breach coming out into play. Breach can be really dominant on this map, especially if you're using your util for your team instead of for yourself. With the combination of Sova to get information, Breach to cut off space for entry with the molly, or play post plant, or flash for your teammates. Really, he can be so versatile. That's why he's so dominant on Haven, especially if played correctly. Last match, UT completely dominated Lehigh, 10-2. There wasn't really any space for Lehigh to get any momentum. They were constantly on ecos, constantly playing with pistols against rifles. And especially if you can't win many rounds in a row, you're constantly going to be having bad morale. So we'll see if they can turn it around this game. They do have a chance. It's a fresh map. A fresh team comp, and they will start on attacker side this time. Well, they did start in defense last game, I believe. So as Haven is attacker side, considering there is 3 different maps, we'll see if they can build some momentum here and get a good run, make sure their eco is in good shape, have good mental. And yeah, maybe a better game this round, better score, better outcome. And on we go to the pistol. Seems like a C hit here. We've got a few players entering through garage, while 3 other members from Lehigh will run through main. Some KJ util not coming out here, going to be broken by Lehigh, which is great. And it looks like UT is recuperating for a I lost the word. But a retake here. They're congregating near garage, a few pushing towards CT, but it is still a 5v5 post plant, which can be interesting. Some KJ util will come out, and QC will take down Jackie on his exit from garage. UFT players out, managing to get 2 frags here, giving them a numbers, and a 2v1 here for Toaster. He is not on site, but does have a dart that will spot Pop. Let's see if he manages to get the spread on here. He does not, and Pop will finish out the round for UT. Once again, UT will take the 3rd pistol of the day out of 3. Great retake from UT there, especially being a 5v5, it is hard to get on site, especially if there's 5 players watching every single retake entry. They managed to play good with their trades as well as their util to take some space and get into site. An overpeak in mid will be punished. Sarah's going to peek again and get some HP taken off from the KG turret, but 2 UT players, Yelzy and Jackie, are pushing up into a main here. I do believe that Lehigh is aware, but they just simply don't have the guns to take out Spectres. Bomb in or near mid window. JJ is going to try and creep up and see if he can claim it or get some frags here. He's going to push him, and with the Spectre, there's not much he can do. Flawless second round from UT. Again, it's just this momentum that Lehigh hasn't been managing to capture. And I will be starting a Gamba now, if you guys are interested. Oops. Okay, guys, it says Ascent, but I didn't mean Ascent, I meant Haven. All good. Again, a congregated C push, players in C, players in main. We're going to see our KJ on the side of UT, PR3 alone in CT with a Marshall. He's not going to take that fight, going to push back again with this team for a retake. UT's last retake on C was pretty successful on pistol, so we'll just have to see what they can do out of this one. Again, players in both CT and Garage, just waiting. Lehigh is choosing to play 3 in main. It is planted for them main. Pop here going to take this 1v1 Garage, gets cut off by Phoenix Util. 3v1 for Penguin, he gets traded out by Sin.
Here.
The last 2 Lehigh players are playing for tap, I guess, in main. They have 1 watching flank, 2 possibly waiting for the tap. UT, however, doesn't know this, but they are going to flank around. Lehigh seems to be aware. They have made some noise. And they're opting to get some frags here instead of going for the defuse. They did run out of time. So they have taken a couple guns out of the hands of Lehigh, which is great for them. It takes some shield off of the Lehigh players, but ultimately doesn't make a big difference. UFT will be able to garner a full buy here in this round. Just Sin on the Bulldog, but the 4 rest of her teammates will have rifles. The first round on the board for Lehigh. I guess the 3 people main strategy worked for them. UFT was really hesitant to get onto site, and then they just ran out of time. A little bit of a different setup for Lehigh this round. They've opted to go for a default. A couple players are on the board, but UT is peeking out of mid. Let's see if they manage to catch Toaster in mid window, and they do. Gets taken down, pushed up, punishes KJ, and 2 more players in mid window that will ultimately just get taken down by some pushes from mid. Great awareness for UT to know what the Lehigh players are expecting out of them. They've been playing pretty passive the past 2 rounds, just backing up the retake, so playing aggressive this round just caught Lehigh off guard. They managed to get some easy kills, and it looks like they will end up down here. Very even scoreboard on the side of U of T. We are pretty early in the game, but it looks like everyone has been contributing, especially in util wise. On the side of Lehigh, 2 players with 0 kills. It must be kind of frustrating for them, but there still is time in this game to gain some momentum. And another mid push from Jackie works out quickly, but he is traded out by QSay. Toaster hiding in mid window with a shorty, just waiting for UFT players to get over aggressive and push into him. Flash comes out from Pop. He's going to peek out of Garage, decides he doesn't want to take that fight anymore, and backs off. Yelzy will also back off back into B site, as well as Sin. Not much Lehigh can do here, especially with the buy that they have into UFT's rifles. Looks like they're going to creep up mid with 1 player going towards Garage. Some Omen smokes coming through. Sky Dog coming through. UFC has managed to get into sight, so any push here for util. Pop with a lovely little 3K, managing to shut down the last 3 players remaining on Lehigh.
Placing alarm bot.
Right here.
Player towards A main. Penguin's going to get hit by
I've
the
got
breach,
your
and we
trail.
have knives coming out.
Joke's over! You're
We'll see
dead!
if this guy has managed to get some information. Jackie deciding he's gonna get out of there, and we'll dash back into sight. And our Sova shock dart doing quite a bit of damage here. Toaster is going to finish him, and we get to see a finisher from the shock dart on Qsei.
Give me the
Now he's getting 2 kills here for
One
Jackie,
enemy
potentially a
remaining.
third. No, he gets taken out by Penguin, but traded by Sin, and Toaster just can't track 3 people at once.
Cussing! I'll do my job, you do yours.
Just this crazy momentum from UT. They've just been dominant on defense and on attack. Doesn't really matter what side they start on. They've been composed. They've been rotating properly. They've been retaking really well, allowing them to be 5-1 right now. Papa's going to get a stun out here. It's going to peek off of it. Well, Jackie gets punished for being over aggressive. Pop out from mid is punished by Sin. One more player in mid window. Looks like Qsei is going to walk a little bit more towards A as Penguin gets
Spike
taken out by
down, mid.
Yelzy, pushed up on mid. This KJ turret might spot him, or he spots the KJ first.
Last player standing.
Flash just completely blinding Sarah, allowing Pop to take her out.
Trust me, they'll know what hit them.
I mean, there's not really much for me to say except good, clean Valorant on the side of U of T. They have just been absolutely shutting down any pushes from Lehigh, and they've really been over-aggressive on this defense round, but it's working for them. Lehigh haven't been able to stop or punish any aggression on the side of U of T, and when U of T chooses not to be aggressive and play for retake, they've done that really well too. Concentrated mid push from Lehigh. Looks like they're going to take a faster route because slow plays haven't really been working for them. However, they are going to get a concuss onto Pop, and he might get, oh my goodness. Interesting run and gun that does end in a kill, and because of that, Lehigh is going to get a plant down, and it looks like the first plant on the side of Lehigh other than pistol, I believe. Jackie's going to take down the util from KJ, but an ult is going to come out on the side of Lehigh, giving them more space, more time. And
One
Jackie has not
enemy
been
remaining.
successful in breaking the ult, but it has been breaking in the end. Perfect retake from UFC.
Thanks.
They've just collapsed in onto Lehigh, managing to break that KJ ult. I don't think Lehigh was expecting
failed.
them to push
Now
into that. That's why they were able to so easily take out the players on Lehigh. 2 backside, 2 on A-Link, and they just got absolutely decimated.
Here!
Scoreboard looking pretty similar to our first map on Ascent, which ended the first half 10-2, I believe. It looks like we're going along the same lines in this map. Penguin actually going to sneak past the Sova Dart. And they have Freeside on A, actually. UT has decided not to put any players on A, but we do have Jackie coming up on the flank. There is a KJ alarm bot there, so he might get spotted.
Joke's over! You're
And
dead!
an ult coming out on the side of UT, hoping to stop a plant. Penguin not managing to get any kills with his ult, pushing into CT, but Jackie is going to get taken out on his flank. 3v2. UFC does have numbers advantage here, and
One
both
enemy
Lehigh's
remaining.
players are main. Sarah's taken out. Toaster just at a measly 30 HP. And there you go. Oh, he does manage to take Yelzy out with him with a shock dart.
Not your day. That's not ready.
8-1 for UT.
That's
The
not
trend has
ready.
been continuing. The scoreboard looks even for UT. From 6 to 12 kills, everyone is doing their part. They have been managing to suppress Jackie a little. He's been doing a little bit of lurking, which they have punished. But Sin is just a monster at holding down sites, I guess. Again, Lehigh opting not to take any
Here.
timeouts here. They do have timeouts available as well as a coach with them. Again, Jackie being extremely aggressive, pushing into their spawn. They've got players on the outside of garage. They've got 2 players on A, which is a free site for them. They are split pretty evenly. Jackie choosing not to push that smoke will do so now. They do have Omen watching their flank though, so we'll see how that comes out. A free plant comes out for Lehigh on the A site. UFT has 2 players on the flank here. They haven't managed to be caught by the 2 Lehigh players that are lurking in mid. Let's see if they get the Omen here. But time is ticking down for UT, and if they want to successfully get a defuse here, they're going to have to speed up a little bit. Some damage on Digit, leaving us in a 3v3 situation. Digit going to
One
peek around
enemy
the box,
remaining. One
eventually
enemy
getting
remaining.
taken down by I don't know who took him down, but yeah, 1v1 situation here. Toaster, but just again, oh, never mind, guys. UT isn't going to take this round. Like I said, they did have to speed up a little bit and they were unable to. They did manage to get the frags out and the trades and everything, but unfortunately there just wasn't enough time for them. Second round on the board for Lehigh, hoping they can get some momentum here. Even after winning though, they do not have the funds to scramble up a full buy, so 3 of their players will be running half shields as well as 1 bulldog. They want to keep this momentum and keep their eco. They're gonna have to win a couple more rounds here, otherwise it looks like this map is lost.
I've got your trail. Be the same.
Really pick out onto Lehigh. UT getting really aggressive here, pushing in through mid, but
Placing
they've,
swarm grenade.
in doing so, they've completely left C open. So many free plants for Lehigh this map, but UT has been so successful at retaking every single one that it doesn't really matter if they get free sight. Last 2 Lehigh players are in garage and main.
Last player
Tuesday is going to
standing.
reveal his position with a flash. His last player alive, and Jackie with a nice little headshot to bring our score to 9-3. Pop will get the defuse, as well as that orb, or the point for his ult.
Last round.
We have yet to see
Use
a
everything you
breach
have.
ult
We lose it
coming
anyway.
out from Pop so far this map, so it's interesting what he's going to do with that, potentially for a retake or maybe something along the lines of stopping a push.
Placing sentry.
Toaster does have his Sova ult, so there's potential there also for a post plant. PR3, a KJ with an op. He is posted up on C long, where he may or may not get peeked here. Choosing to play a closer angle, jump spotting. It's going to fall back a little bit and just play the advantage you get with the op long range. Unlucky for him, it looks like the Lehigh players are moving closer towards garage, which is currently being defended right now by Pop. Lehigh player is actually getting a little bit closer to A main, where they might be unaware of Pop there. If Pop decides to be more aggressive here and push into their spawn, he might get a few free kills. It looks like he's choosing to stay put and wait for them to push into him. No players on the B site. They are, however, in both sides of the link, giving them easy access to spray main. And there you go. Aggressiveness from Jackie is rewarded with a frag. He's going to pull back into their spawn, but a lot of HP taken off him, and eventually he's going to get flashed
30
and
seconds
killed.
left.
Lehigh players just absolutely sprinting towards A site, where it's
Standing
completely
ahead.
free to them. Actually, no, it's not. In there with the clutch blind coming through, allowing Yossi to get a kill, but she is going to get stunned by the dog. We'll see if Lehigh has enough time to get a plant down.
Spike
Yossi
down
with
A.
a frag, killing their sword carrier.
Nope.
Very fast there from Pop. Gonna pop the ult because it was the last round in the
Switching
half. So
sides.
unfortunately, we didn't get to see it in gameplay, but maybe on their attacker side. Exactly the same as last map. UFT's gonna end the half 10-2. It does look a little bit lost to Lehigh. This is a BO3. So if they do lose this map, they will be taking the L. UFT grouping up towards A main.
Oncoming
They
back.
are going to send a lurk mid-garage.
Turn out.
We've got our KJ in the form of
Calling my
Digit
boss.
for Lehigh setting up in the garage. C area. Fortunately, it is the wrong site to set up because UFT is creeping up sewer with the Sova drone. Looks like they will be rushing. Great awareness from Sarah, who gets a headshot, but is traded by Sin, with Pop getting a kill on Toaster as well.
One enemy remaining.
Plant will go down. Qsei at 2 HP in a 1v4 situation. Is gonna get spotted by the dart. He is a one-tap from any gun in the game at this point, and is gonna get peeked. Not sure what he was doing there. I guess you can jump spot by jumping straight up and down.
They're
Maybe
not
he
getting
gave
the
up.
message. Leave it to
And
me. I'll
again,
rough them up.
4 out of 4 pistol rounds for UT. And they are now 2 rounds away from the actual series.
Placing sentry. Alarm bot out. Recalling my bot.
At this point,
Alarm bot out.
Lehigh is going to do,
Placing swarm grenade.
or they're going to buy up as much as they can, or they risk forcing next round, which, I mean, ideally would be correct. So I'm not sure why they bought up. I guess they decided that they can't lose this round, otherwise they'll lose the next round. They do have a KJ set up on C, which is great because it has been successfully deterring all of UFT Valorant really from pushing the C site, except for Pistol. So they're gonna see that util, they're gonna see the Omen smokes, and they're gonna back off a little bit towards mid, which is great because Q's is gonna kill the dog. He's gonna spot 2, but not the other 3 that have peeked up. Silverdart coming through is gonna spot him, and they're gonna try and push to punish him, but he's running away. Pier 3 lurking up mid gets taken out by Penguin with just a ghost. And UT will start their push right now. Great
Spike down. C.
spray down from Toaster with the Stinger. Managed to get 2. It looks like this force from Lehigh.
One enemy remaining.
And there you go. Casters aren't always right, but yeah, great force from Lehigh. They secured the round and managed to get a few upgrades from Stingers and whatnot to Spectres, and it is going to force U of T onto an eco. A few of their players can buy actually because they ecoed last round, opting not to buy a gun and just staying with their pistols, which may have been the reason they weren't able to secure that round. a Vandal and a Guardian coming up for Lehigh, giving them really a greater gun advantage, so they should be able to secure this round unless we get some hero plays on the side of U of T with some crazy sheriff headshots, but it's looking pretty good for Lehigh. It might be the little push they need to get a little bit of momentum and get back into this game. Yelzy alone peeking A main. Backing off, he doesn't really have the gun power or the teammates to make that push. Penguin getting some early info with the ghost here on B. He's going to back off because they are pushing towards C into a KJ setup with only pistols. Lehigh players rotating towards C. 2 peeling off A. Actually, no, they're deciding to stay in case. Entry coming out from Jackie.
30 seconds
Does
left.
manage to get the one tap with the sheriff. Misses the second one, so close. Toaster going to use some shock darts to take some HP off the planters, but the plant does go down. And we have 4v4. U of T is all over site. They do have pistols. They're going to play all together. Flash coming out. She's going to aim until the flash is gone before they peek. Pop the only one left on the side of U of T with just a sheriff. Managed to take one down before going out. And some momentum now on the side of Lehigh. Goes to show just how much winning an eco can do for you, and when your money is up, it's really so much easier to win rounds, especially with your mental knowing that next round, if you keep your gun, you'll have a gun, or next round, if you win, you might be able to still buy a gun. And like being able to not constantly have to go on an eco just allows you to play so much more aggressive and can allow you to really punish more, especially on a defense side. If you're able to successfully be aggressive, it's so much easier to get those kills. And in order to do that, you need to have the guns to back it. U of T splitting on A site. A few players peeking up towards sewers, some going long.
Time to hunt. Scout destroyed.
Yuto coming out on all sides. Kyusei and Omen here, the only 2 players, but it looks like their team is slowly rotating over. Pop going to be denied by the Omen, or not the Omen, the Phoenix Molly, and eventually just sprayed down in main. Pure 3 getting caught by this Sova dart, but he is on site. 2v3, so it could entirely go both ways. Lehigh is setting up for a retake here. They're going to let Pink go down, but they've all congregated towards CT. Great pick here by PR3. Maybe this in a 2v1. Or no, 2v2. Both players on the side of Lehigh are
One enemy remaining.
Yelzy in graffiti, and the loading does its work there. 2 flashes come out for Lehigh, and ultimately will blind PR3. He is unable to spray down any of the members of Lehigh. Momentum in favor of Lehigh at this point. I mean, I think that's their 3rd round in a row. They have guns, they've taken an op, and they also have an Odin. Jackie going to get wallbang through mid window from Penguin, taking out quite a bit of his HP. But there's just so many players on the side of U of T pushing up main. They will be able to take the space, forcing Penguin to push back and get a little heal from his Sky. Poster just waiting for them to push up so he can dart. Sky Dog coming out.
Neutralized.
Gelzy managing to secure a frag with the Sheriff, leaving one player on the side of Lehigh on B. Kisa getting the information that nobody is out in B main. Digit getting a kill with his Molly. And
Right
UT
here.
slowly on site. Sin will be holding CT with a
Spike
bomb.
planted.
So hopefully that gets locked down. Shocker doing quite a bit
Last
of
player
damage onto
standing.
Toaster, as well as getting a frag on Sarah. Gelzy pushing up with the Sheriff, and his aggression is rewarded. And UT takes the 12th round for their 13 to secure the series. Even contributions from basically every UT player across the board, from 17 kills to 11. Lehigh has had their momentum just disrupted. We have to see if they manage to bounce back from it. They can't let it stop with the flow they had going, winning a couple of rounds in a row. So they just have to, you know, get back together and play solid defense. So ult is popped, hoping to catch a few players on the A site. Is not going to take anyone. UT will continue their journey onto the A site with all players down. One thing is he's going to spot Omen unaware in graffiti. They don't know that he's pushing through, but he may or may not get caught by this Sova drone here. I don't believe he did. But he did run out of his knives. He used them all. Sin pushed out there, rewarded with a frag, and it looks like a 5v2, and now a 5v1 with Phoenix on 1 HP, caught by the Sova ult in heaven.
Attackers win.
And there you go. UT takes the first series of their season against Lehigh University Valorant, and we will be back with some post-match interviews. Hi, welcome back, everyone. We are currently here with Pop and Sin for our post-match interviews. So I would say U of T as a team, you guys were really dominant. What has the practice or scrimming been looking like? So what does communication look like? Who calls the strats? How do you guys play off of each other? Especially when you guys are dominating so much. I guess we can direct... Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so we usually run a lot of dry runs, so we kind of know like what util to use and like our positions and stuff. And specifically against this team, they didn't really like change anything like every round or like try to push and like take space. So we just took advantage and like we defaulted a lot. So yeah, I think that's how. And they kind of got scared, I think. So I think that's how we got the upper hand.
And Pop, how do you feel the momentum was going on for the team? Was there any banter going on in the chat, or what did it look like in the voice call?
Once we kind of figured out they were doing the same thing, it was kind of we were just steamrolling. We didn't even have to really default or call what we were doing. We just kind of knew what was happening.
All right. So Sin, I know that you usually play Sentinel. You're a bit of a KJ main. So what was the decision to transition into smokes?
Oh, actually, yes, I'm playing Sentinel for the team, but I think PR3 likes lurking a lot, and he probably feels more comfortable in Sentinel, so I just switched to smokes for those games. I'm actually a flex player, so I'm comfortable in any agent.
Okay. And throughout the entire series, we saw a lot of aggression out of Jackie. How would you guys say that you supported him in any of his pushes, flanks, or anything like that? I noticed Pop, sometimes you would be behind him, sometimes it would be Yelzy. So what's a way that you guys can play off of like any kind of duelist aggression?
PR3 tends to call these strats pre-round, and we're just kind of using util off of his contact for the most part. And if he's not telling us what to do, we're kind of telling him what we want him to do with our util.
That sounds good. Great job to both of you. You guys played really well today, and it was an incredible first series to end off of the season, or not end off the season, start off the season. And I wish you both luck in the rest of your season. We'll be back here every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. streaming the University of Toronto Varsity VALORANT games on the NACE Start League. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.